Alright, so, hey guys, Takupo once again. Before I start today's episode of Quick Thoughts, I just want to get some stuff out of the way. One, I'm not going to be as flamboyant as I was in the last episode, because I'm still recovering from wisdom tooth surgery. So for those who don't know, I got my wisdom teeth, all 4 of them, taken out. And I don't know if I should be doing this, but I just kind of wanted to talk about some stuff before these topics got old. And one of the topics I'm going to be talking about is kind of old, but I still wanted to talk about it because I think it should be discussed. So that's the first thing. So not going to be talking as loudly as I should, but whatever. Second thing, what the first episode of Thoughts On will be on, and when that will most likely be coming out. First episode will be on Shovel Knight, all 3 games of the Treasure Trove. I need to replay through. I just finished Shovel Knight 1, that's a dumb way. I just finished Shovel Knight, the first one, the one with Shovel Knight himself. I want to go through Plague of Shadows ASAP and Spectre of Torment ASAP. Of course, I can't talk about King Knight because that one hasn't released yet. So I'm thinking about doing a separate thing on it, because I think it's going to be one of the best ones from what I played, especially with King of Cards. So there's 2 modes to talk about in there, so I'm excited to talk about that. So that's what the first since the return. I do still have up the very first Thoughts On, which was on Animal Crossing. I think I maybe not as the second episode or the third, but maybe a little bit in the future I'll do a retake on Animal Crossing. But I rewatched it, and a lot of points that I had in there are still true. It's just it wasn't worded properly, if you know what I mean, and the editing was kind of bad. At the time I liked it, but whatever. Also, I'll be feeling my face a lot because sore. So, first up, Nintendo Labo. Now, I've heard a lot of people complain about the price. How, oh, it's $70 for cardboard, oh. Shut up. It's more like $60 for the game, or $50 for the game, and then $20 for the cardboard. Alright, so that's the first thing I wanted to get out of the way. What do I think about the product? I think it's a really cool concept. I really like the idea of how you can turn your Switch into a piano, or you can turn it into like a motorcycle thing. I really like the concept, and how Nintendo has been advertising it is really well done, because I'll sometimes see videos of like the game, like it's like the programming thing in the game, which I really think is cool. Like you can program a guitar, you can program controls for something. It's like your imagination could go wild with this thing, and I really like that. But will I buy it? If I do buy it, will I do a Thoughts On it? For buying it, I think I will, because the product is just so interesting, and I just kind of want to give it a shot. I'll get the variety pack. I don't think I'm going to get the robot one, though I've always kind of been interested in Project Big Robot. For those who don't know, Project Big Robot is now the new robot game, which is a separate pack from the variety pack. The reason why I get the variety pack is because there's a lot more to do, and I feel like I'm getting more bang on my buck, and the robot one costs $80. So I don't think I'm gonna drop $80 on that. It's coming out $420, which is kind of funny, but still. And what do I think the future of Labo is gonna be? It kind of depends on what's going to happen with the first couple months of sales. I think Nintendo's going to put out more packs throughout the year. I think like 1 or 2 more variety packs, and maybe 1 more big scale Labo game, kind of like for the robot one. I think it's going to sell pretty well. I mean, It's going to sell well with the kids. It may not sell as well as the adults, but that Nintendo knew that right off the gates. Like, when they announced it, they're like, oh, by the way, this one thing is gonna be for people who are children at heart and for children. So, I mean, if you're not interested, you don't have to buy it. This isn't gonna be the new Nintendo. I remember people freaking their shit out over this thing. Oh my god, Nintendo's back in the dark ages. No. You dumb. Little side discussion. This is actually not a part of my list, but I kind of want to talk about ports on the Nintendo Switch. Ports from the Wii U game ports, I'm generally okay with it, because what they're porting are games that I did not play on the Wii U. But I am kind of disappointed that some of the games aren't getting full-on sequels, you know what I mean? Like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, that could have easily gotten a sequel. Just take some of the old levels and like put it in like one or two things, and then like make it so like, I don't know, maybe a mixture of both or just a brand new thing. Literally just take the Captain Toad Treasure Tracker engine, make a whole ton of new levels. I think they could have done it. They could have just waited a bit on it. But I mean, hey, again, this is trying to dive into people who haven't even touched these games, which I didn't touch Tropical Freeze, I didn't touch Hyrule Warriors, so I mean, will I pick it up? I'm not sure. Probably yes for Donkey Kong, probably no for Hyrule Warriors, because I never really liked those type of games, you know, the toy kick, the Dynasty Warriors type games. So there's that. And they haven't done that many ports, if you ask me. I feel like they kind of slowed down. I know, like, they're releasing Captain Toad, Donkey Kong, Hyrule Warriors kind of back to back to back to back. But I think it's going to go to a halt when Summer Beyond, because there are, apparently, according to GameStop, there are a lot of unannounced games, which I believe will be a bunch of new games. But whatever. The MyNintendo Switch Rewards. This is something I've wanted to talk to people about for a while, because I do not see people talking about this enough. I do not like what they have for the Switch right now. So for those who don't know, gold points, 1 gold point equals 1 cent off of a game. And, I mean, I have used the program. Like, I've let a couple months pass. Do I use it that often? Kind of. I bought the Mario... The Mario Versus, you know, the arcade game. I bought that with the gold points. That was probably one of the first things that I bought, and then I also bought the Punch-Out game, which I do not regret getting, even though it's kind of, I'm used to newer Punch-Out controls where it's like the controls are tight. This one is kind of off, you know, something's kind of off. But still, I'm still not a fan. It feels like the Wii U. How the Wii U has better rewards than the Switch. How does that make you feel? It makes me. I love Nintendo, and all I want to see them do is improve. But this is not how you do it. How they can improve on it? I mean, sure, they can still have this in place. I mean, this is fine. It's just this is the only thing that you can do for Switch games, and it's like, what are you doing? How they can improve? I mean, do what you're doing with the Wii U and 3DS. Have some select games. Have discount things. If you put in some gold points or put in some silver points. Platinum points, sorry, my bad. I mean, like, I don't get why it's that hard to, like, you know, put in discounts. Or they're not games that... Are there games that are not, you know, worthy enough or something? I don't know. And make it a bang for your buck, you know? Also, gold points expiring. What the fuck is up with that, Nintendo? Like, what? I don't understand what the point of having them expire is. It just makes no sense. They should just not have that. Just never have them expire. I know it's like, oh, you can let them pile up over time, and then you can get a full-on game. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. I want to buy a couple games and then buy myself a new game. For free, kind of. Free, in quotations. I'm not gonna, like, go on a buying rampage just to get a free game. Like, what? No. Let me stack up my gold points over time, and then let me just put them all on a game, or whatever. Oh, I also bought Cluster Trucks. with the gold points, which I'm also kind of happy with because I really like cluster trucks. I didn't even know that until like a couple weeks ago when I bought it. I'm like, oh damn, this is good. And finally, this is gonna take like 5 minutes, so I'm gonna hit like 15 minutes. Before I do that, quick little mini update on the. So the last topic I did was on Monster Crown, and at the time when I was recording, it was at 11,000. It's already at 20,000. Which, I mean, congrats to them again. I just wanted to quickly bring that up. But back to this, MatPat and his bullshit, kind of. So for those who don't know what happened, MatPat made a video. I'm not sure what the video was on. If I did my research a little bit more, then I guess I probably could find out what it was about. He made jokes about gender spectrum, people who identify as non-binary, and I feel like the jokes that he made, I mean, like, the 1960 Coca-Cola bottle was kind of funny. It got a snicker out of me. But him going in depth and be like, oh, people who think that gender is on a spectrum is the literal piece of fecal matter on the left or on the right. Like, come on, dude. Like, those are low blows. And the Apache Chief helicopter joke, dude, that's like 2012 meme right there. That's not funny in the slightest. Him bringing it up is funny because he thinks that's funny. He thinks it's funny. And what happens? People call him out on it. It's like, what the fuck, dude? What are you doing? Why are you making old ass jokes like, oh hey, gender, like he's making himself look like a giant ass goober nugget over here. And you want to know how he responds? Y'all need to stop with this witch hunting. You're putting your pitchforks up at the wrong person. So sorry for the lame ass jump cut, but I feel like I needed to re-record this part. Because of how I worded shit. It wasn't right. So basically, hats off, no music. So basically the point that I was trying to get across in this part of the video was that Matthew Patrick, the dumb fuck that he just made this really bad joke that, okay, so usually his comedy stays inside. I go on and I say that there are two types of comedy. One that push boundaries and people who push boundaries and people who don't. He's usually the type of person that doesn't push boundaries with his jokes. He usually stays in the center. He usually tries to be PC and he tries to do all this stuff. So the reason why people are getting mad at him is because, like, this isn't his thing. He's never pushed the boundaries like this before, and he doesn't know what he's doing. And when he did it, didn't really work. Didn't really work. And what I was saying about people, how the other people are wrong, or not fully wrong. They have a right to be angry if they see themselves on the spectrum. Good for them. I really don't care. Like, really, when it comes to me, I don't care if people identify on the spectrum, if they're non-binary, binary. Like I said, as people may know, I identify as male. I mean, that, whatever. But still, like, I feel like some people kind of, like, went a little bit too far. I don't know. Just writing paragraphs and paragraphs on it and why, like, major YouTubers are becoming transphobic, homophobic. I believe one person was said transphobic, the other one homophobic. Like, with the thing with H3 and the thing with Billy Wirtz saying, like, oh, I think H3 said, like, oh, my dick touched the toilet water, better go cut my dick off. That part was okay, and then he's like, okay, better change my name to Ellen. Like, I feel like... But with H3, he's known for pushing boundaries on jokes. He's known for doing that sort of thing. So I see why he made the joke. MatPat, on the other hand, he is not in the... has no right. He's never made jokes like this before. Like I said, he usually tries to keep his shit clean. So now here he goes off like, if gender's on... Okay, if gender is on a spectrum, is gay jalapeno on the... Like, shut the fuck up. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's what I was trying to get at. MatPat, and when I first recorded it, I said it a little bit differently, and I never really got to the point, which is what I need to try to work on. Overall, the point was, MatPat has never made a joke like this before, and he probably should have just stayed in his field of comedy, because he has he doesn't need to make jokes like that. He really doesn't. So that's what I have to say. That's what I have to say about that. I'm gonna go back to past me. Go to the end of the video because this is definitely a lot shorter. So sorry for the weird ass jump cut. I just feel like I explained it poorly the first time I went around. I was looking back on the footage. I feel like I think I explained it a little bit better this time around. But overall, MatPat is fully in the he's mostly in the wrong. And some people who are criticizing him need to lay off a tiny bit. They have a right to be mad, but try to be the bigger person. And I know some of them were, and then he was a total doucher to them, being like, "Stop winch hunting towards me. Stop pointing your pitchforks at me." Like, come on. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go back to past me. Anyways, hopefully this little jump cut thing doesn't fuck up with too many things. But it needed to be done, because I needed to explain myself a little bit further. So, back to past me. Again, I don't mean to offend, though I do feel like people need to realize that comedy is for pushing boundaries, but what the things that MatPat said, I feel like went too far. You push slightly, little by little, I mean, this guy doesn't really make doesn't make comedy like that pushes too often. And just to see him out of nowhere, bam, push it, was just way too much. And same thing, well, not the same thing, but actually the problem with Apu and The Simpsons, I feel like The Simpsons have been pushing the boundaries at the same pace every single time. They have... Apu isn't the only racist stereotype. No, he isn't. Review Tech USA had a great video on it. The problem with Apu is that people have a problem with it, or something like that. I watched his whole video. I think he did a fantastic job with that. Link to that in the description. But yeah, sorry if this again was 20 minutes. I was planning on it being 15 minutes. And then Quick Thoughts isn't really quick. I mean, but whatever. I'll probably have to change the name or something. But still, overall, I feel like MatPat should learn from his mistakes, which he hasn't, and he hasn't done it too often, but he doesn't really do it at all, but whatever. He should learn from his mistakes, and people need to ease off on, like, everything is horrible. What MatPat did was pretty bad, though. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's episode of Quick Thoughts. And I'm sorry if, usually I like to just talk about games and movies. I don't really like talking about shit like that, but it's like when someone stupid just comes around, you just gotta say your opinions, and that's what I kind of wanted to do. Maybe I should have kept quiet. Maybe, I don't know. Also, I guess I gotta thank some lovely people. This will only take a second. Teeves Art for making the thumbnail, for making the art in the thumbnail for the next episode, for the Shovel Knight episode of Thoughts On, and for the next episode of Thoughts On. So I already have the first two planned. I guess I'll hint to it. Some people already know it because I revealed it on stream, so if you go to my Twitch, I bet you can find it. I'll hint about it in the Shovel Knight video, and then when I get some footage done, I guess I'll do an official reveal. But still, thank you guys so much for watching. I do really like making videos like these, and these are easy to make, easy to churn out, and hopefully you guys like them as well. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one, whether it's another quick thoughts. Oh yeah, when will the thoughts on be? I think, like I said, I have to get footage for the next 2 games, so Spectre Torment and the Plague Knight one, sorry. I had it in the beginning, but I forgot it. And then I have to write the script, do the voice, like, do recordings and stuff, and then I have to blah blah blah, and then I have to do the editing, which I think overall will take probably 2 weeks, so I'll try to be doing some other things while I'm at it. So yeah. Anyways, that's gonna do it. For real. Sorry again for it being 21 minutes. Like I said, probably should change the name from Quick Thoughts to... But I don't know. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace.